right, y'all, TYT Sports. As always, drink responsibly. Thank you for watching and supporting us, supporting independent media. L'chaim to all of you. It's grape juice. So, Blake Griffin. Let's talk about him. Traded to Detroit back in January of this past season, and yet still, this team did not make the playoffs. They finished below 500. They could not beat out the Washington Wizards for the 8th seed in the East, 39-43. This via the Ringer. He, as in Blake Griffin, no longer the shiny new sports car in the garage. Griffin's rebounding percentage was the lowest of his career last season. His field goal percentage has dropped each of the past 3 years. He is going to be 30 years old. Amazingly. He is going to be 30 years old in March when this season hits. So as I'm looking at it, right, thinking Detroit Pistons, Reggie Jackson. Many thought that he was going to be better than he has become with Detroit. Wanted to get out of Russell Westbrook's shadow, right? He did. And still has not proven himself to be, not necessarily a starting point guard. I think he's done that. A good enough starting point guard to lead a franchise. Then you got Andre Drummond, who's putting in work shooting threes this offseason. Got an okay bench. And they have Dwayne Casey, who was ousted in Toronto after winning Coach of the Year because he couldn't get over the hump. And that's all the Pistons have been at this point. They've been the team that's been like kind of good. They're in the worst spot. I've said this so many times, guys. What is the motto? If you are a team in the NBA, the worst place you want to be is average. You want to be at the 9th spot, which is where the Pistons were. Because you're not good enough to make the playoffs, and you're bad enough to not get a top 5 pick. Top 7 pick even. Blake Griffin, meanwhile, has continually improved his three-point shooting, tied a career high for three-pointers attempted this past season. But what's the one thing that's dogged him, everybody? 1, 2, 3. Injuries, correct. Last year he played 58 games. Season before 58, the previous one to that, 61, and then a measly 35. He lives to compete with a star-studded cast, in my opinion. He proved it worked, putting up career numbers with the Los Angeles Clippers. And that was even when he was raw and still didn't have a jump shot. And then we saw this video of Blake Griffin and Russell Westbrook working out together. And our conclusion was, that actually looks pretty damn good. That looks like a nice little winning combination. And maybe if you add in Paul George to that equation for Oklahoma City, now you got yourselves a big 3. So my question to all of you is, what trades can you see for Blake Griffin? What is your dream destination? Do we all think he's going to be traded? No. But in the spirit of having some delicious red wine, Trader Joe's. Free plug. Let's get to it. So here we go. After that, now let's go. We mentioned Oklahoma City, right? Well, how about the Pistons getting Steven Adams and Dennis Schroeder, who has proven to be a pretty good point guard. So you have a 1-2 in Reggie Jackson and Dennis Schroeder. You had Steven Adams. Throw in a first-round pick from Oklahoma City. OKC gets Blake Griffin in return. And the Chicago Bulls are just in a dump right now. They would be dropping campaign going back to Oklahoma City where him and Raymond Felton can compete for the backup point guard spot. And then give them a project who is going to hit free agency that the Bulls cannot retain in Bobby Portis. Another 3-teamer that involves the Bulls, who again, trying not to be great this year. The Minnesota Timberwolves will get Blake Griffin. The Pistons would get Andrew Wiggins and Denzel Valentine, again in a roster dump for the Chicago Bulls, who are trying to free themselves up for this upcoming free agency class. Throw in a first-round pick from Minnesota to Detroit to accompany Andrew Wiggins, and the Bulls will get Tyus Jones on a 1-year deal. Moving forward, the Pistons and the Suns. Got to find teams that have young talent who they can give up in return for Blake Griffin. Tyson Chandler, a role model of a center in the NBA. TJ Warren, one of the most underappreciated NBA players. And then Mikal Bridges for Blake Griffin. If that doesn't float your boat, switch out Josh Jackson. They get to keep Bridges, who they drafted because of Philadelphia. Don't like either of those? Well, too bad. The Detroit Pistons would acquire Marc Gasol, with the Memphis Grizzlies embracing that they need to get younger, and they would have to throw in somebody else. Is it Jaren Jackson? Is it a few others? Let us know your trades in the comments section below. Ones that I do not like that I've seen, the Los Angeles Lakers, always it seems, having to attach Luol Deng no matter what. Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and Ivica Zubac. And then one with the Sixers, Fultz, Zaire Smith, Dario Saric for Wilson Chandler. One that I don't hate, by the way, because then you have a real solid big three in JoJo, Blake Griffin, although you'd be trading away Markelle Fultz, who I said on the show is going to win Most Improved Player and is going to put up 15, 4, and 3 this season. Could be a starter this season as well. So, although I don't love giving up Fultz, if they wanted to invest in a partnership with JoJo, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin, it could very well work. Again, I want to hear from all of you. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Continue to support us. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe for more free content. We'll see you soon.